Okay, so you hit record and boom, you've captured the sound, right? But like, what if there's something else going on? Like, what if sometimes those recordings pick up something we weren't expecting? You know, you sent us some really interesting stuff about this and it got us thinking.
Yeah, definitely.
Could those weird sounds and voices actually be coming from UFOs?
That's a great question. And honestly, that's exactly what we're going to try to figure out today.
Right.
You've given us a ton of really cool reports and stories. And we're going to explore the connections between UFOs and these strange sounds that people have picked up using different types of technology.
Exactly.
We're not going to have all the answers.
Yeah.
But we're going to see if we can find some patterns and explore some possibilities based on what you've sent us.
Right. And we've got everything from articles about specific cases to personal stories that'll give you goosebumps. It's a lot to unpack. So let's just dive right in with a case from 1977 in England, the Epsilon incident.
So this one's really interesting because this team, the Epsilon team, they went out to a place known for UFO sightings and set up their recording equipment.
Oh, wow.
It was like they were trying to listen to the unknown.
Right.
And they got a pretty direct response.
Oh, really?
Yeah, when they played back the recording, they heard this clear, robotic voice that just said, "We are the Epsilon."
And the thing is, there was no one else around. And it couldn't have been a regular radio broadcast.
It's like it came from thin air.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It was this distinct voice from who knows where. Could this have been like a UFO trying to identify itself?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Yeah.
Was it just saying hi or like marking its territory or what?
Yeah.
Okay, let's move on to Wales in 1994 when there was a lot of UFO activity going on. This one involved some pretty interesting sounds too.
Yeah, the 1994 Welsh UFO wave was crazy because of the sheer number of UFO sightings. But then you also had all these people talking about hearing mechanical speech coming from the sky.
Oh.
One farmer said it was like a radio broadcast, but with no radio, which is a pretty wild image.
Yeah, and what makes this even weirder is that people found voices on their recordings that they didn't actually hear at the time.
Right, and these weren't your typical EVPs. Electronic voice phenomena.
Yeah, those are usually faint and hard to understand. The voices in Wales were clearer and more structured, and they seemed to be connected to the UFO sightings.
So it's like the sky itself was recording these messages.
That's the idea. It's pretty mind-blowing.
Totally. Okay, let's talk about a case that's a bit more intense, maybe even threatening the Coyami incident in Mexico back in 1973. This one has a much stronger audio component.
Yeah, with the Coyami incident, things get really weird.
Okay.
As this object was falling, radios all over town started blaring this mechanical screaming sound.
That sounds chaotic.
It was. And then military investigators picked up frantic chatter in an unknown language. It was like something was communicating or reacting as the object was crashing.
Wow. And then there's the story of the local policeman who heard a warning in broken Spanish coming from his radio. It said no closer. And then his radio exploded when he got near the crash site.
Exactly.
So it went from maybe a greeting in England to a clear warning and a show of force in Mexico. That makes you think about what these UFOs might be trying to do.
It does. Okay, let's talk about some cases involving the military because they have a lot of advanced technology. Let's start with the 1957 RB-47 incident.
Oh, yeah, this one's interesting.
So the RB-47 was a plane with really advanced electronic equipment like sensors that could detect radar and radio signals.
Okay.
And the UFO followed this plane for over an hour, sending out a signal that matched the plane's movements.
So it was like a conversation through technology.
Yeah, and the military said that no known technology could have created that signal.
So we're talking about something way more advanced than what we had at the time.
Exactly. And it wasn't just random noise. It had a structure, almost like a language.
Wow. And then there are the Nimitz encounters from 2004. We all know about the tic-tac UFOs and the radar weirdness, but there's a less-known audio aspect to this.
Right. The pilots said they were hearing strange, fragmented voices mixed in with their radio chatter.
Yeah.
And these voices seemed to be responding to what the pilots were doing and saying in real time.
Oh, wow. So like they were eavesdropping and talking back.
That's what it seems like.
That means something was messing with their military-grade communication systems.
Yeah. Which is a pretty scary thought.
Totally. Okay, let's move from military encounters to some more experimental attempts at communication, specifically at Skinwalker Ranch. They were using spirit boxes there.
Right. Spirit boxes are these devices that scan through radio frequencies really fast.
And the idea is that spirits or other entities can use those frequencies to talk.
Exactly. And there was this one instance where someone asked, "Are you from Earth?" And the spirit box said no, and then beyond.
Wow, a straight answer. But what's even creepier are the times when the spirit box seemed to know what the researchers were thinking, even if they didn't say anything out loud.
That's right. It suggests some kind of connection between thoughts and technology.
Yeah, very strange. Okay, let's switch gears to a long-standing mystery. The Black Knight satellite.
Ah, yes, the Black Knight satellite. It's been part of UFO lore for decades.
And there's a sound element to this one, too.
There is. Amateur radio operators have been picking up strange signals from it for years. Some people think they're encoded messages.
And there's that footage from the Space Shuttle Endeavour in 1998 when they saw something that could have been the Black Knight satellite, and at the same time, they detected unusual radio transmissions.
Right. It's like they caught it in the act. And when people analyzed those signals, they found mathematical patterns that don't seem natural.
So it could be some kind of intelligent signal.
And there's even a theory that these signals are responses to signals that we sent out from Earth, like some of Tesla's early radio broadcasts.
It's like we've been having a conversation with this thing for almost a century.
That's one possibility.
Oh.
Okay, so we've talked about all these incidents. Now let's get into some theories about why we might be picking up these sounds on our text.
Sounds good.
One theory is dimensional bleed-through. It's the idea that these UFOs exist in a different dimension that sometimes overlaps with ours. And when that happens, our technology picks up bits of their communication.
So it's like accidentally tuning into a radio station from another dimension.
Exactly. Then there's technology compatibility. Maybe these beings are using communication methods that just happen to work with our technology.
Oh.
Think about how submarines use very low-frequency radio waves. It wasn't intended for long-distance communication, but it turned out to be perfect for it.
So maybe UFOs are using something similar.
Maybe. And then you've got intentional obfuscation. Maybe the messages are unclear on purpose.
Why would they do that?
To avoid freaking us out or to slowly introduce themselves to us.
Or to hide their true intentions.
Exactly. And then there's the really out there theory, non-physical intelligence. This suggests that consciousness or intelligence can exist without a physical body and that it can interact directly with our electronics.
Oh, that's a big idea.
It is. It challenges everything we know about intelligence. Remember, these are just theories, not proven facts.
Right. It's all about exploring different possibilities. And what makes all this even more interesting and kind of creepy is that regular people are having these experiences too.
Yeah, these personal encounters make it clear that this isn't just something that happens in labs or to the military. It can happen to anyone.
Right, like that guy in Ohio who heard whispers on his baby monitor saying they're coming and then saw UFOs.
Yeah, or that family in England whose TV turned on by itself and started showing static, and they could hear voices talking about them by name.
That's really freaky.
It is. These stories show us that this isn't just a theoretical thing. It's happening in people's homes.
It really makes you wonder what's going on. So after all these accounts and theories, the big question is, what do they want? What are they trying to tell us?
That's the million-dollar question. Some people think they're trying to warn us about something, or maybe they're just curious about us.
Yeah.
Or maybe they're getting ready for something big that we don't know about yet.
Yeah, I think the main takeaway here is that we don't have all the answers. We're still figuring things out.
Definitely. But what's clear is that we're not alone, and something is trying to get our attention.
Well, this has been an awesome deep dive into all the material you sent us. We hope this has given you some new insights and maybe even some new questions to think about.
Absolutely. And here's a final thought for you. What would be the most shocking reason for these beings to be communicating with us through our technology?
That's a great question to consider. And if you've had any experiences like the ones we've talked about today, we'd love to hear about them.
Yeah, your stories and ideas are important. This is a mystery that we're all trying to solve together.
So keep your eyes and ears open, and who knows what we might discover next.
The universe is full of surprises.
That's for sure.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.
Thanks as always for watching today, and if you like our videos, please don't forget to click on the like button and comment in the comments section. And if you already haven't done so, why not subscribe? It is completely free.